Next on our agenda, we'll hear from Maggie Levenstein, Director of the University of Michigan Inter-University Consortium for Political and Social Research and Principal Investigator of the Social, Behavioral, and Economic COVID Coordinating Center. Maggie will be speaking about SBE CCC's accomplishments in our first year and our plans for the upcoming year. Maggie, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Megan. And let me see, I've been playing here with different screens and seeing if I can make this work perfectly. Sorry about that. I'm going to talk about the coordinating center, what we're up to, how we started, and how things are going. I think this is supposed to be like a TikTok thing, but I don't know how to do that because I'm old. All right, next slide. The coordinating center faculty and staff include me and John Kubali and Megan Chenoweth, who you've been interacting with quite a bit today, and then also Amy Pienta and James McNally, who you've all been interacting with quite a bit over the last several months, and who are here with us today. Next slide. So just to remind you, the coordinating center aims include research and collaboration, dissemination and publicity, guidance and support for our consortium members. That's all of you. Pilot projects, and I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go. And then the annual meeting. That's what we're doing here today. So really our job is to help you all work together and help you do your research better, and to promote data sharing and collaboration across all of you. Next slide. I cannot see the slide. So this is, oh, there we go. Okay. So our consortium members, in terms of how we started with 8 of you, and now we have grown to 12, and we actually expect to continue to grow with additional research teams joining the consortium by the end of this year. So, so we are growing. Next slide, please. We thought you might be interested to see what all of you are actually studying, and this is just a word cloud from your websites and how you describe your work. We know, and you could hear that earlier today, that we're seeing work on vulnerable populations, on health disparities in terms of race and gender, and sexual preference and ethnicity. We're looking at the impact on communities at very different scales, some of them a school or a school district or a city, and some of them counties or states or nationalities. The other thing that we obviously see when we look at this is that we're studying health, but we're putting health into a social context and looking both at how income and race and ethnicity and social situations affect health, and how health affects people's economic well-being, their income and employment, and the ability to retire, all of those things. Next slide. So again, where did we start in year 1 in terms of research and collaboration? For those of you who have been part of the consortium since the beginning, you know that we've been having monthly meetings of all of the consortium members, really with the goal to start defining common data elements for policy measures and other measures related to COVID-19. And this is the really wonderful table that Megan and John put together, looking at the different data sources that different members of the consortium are using, and what the features of those data are. Again, and we're continuing to try to get folks to share their data sources, their measures, so that we can learn from one another. And our discussions so far have focused on masking and business closure, and we'll continue on from there. Oh, next slide. So that's where we are going, is we'll be moving to quarterly meetings for all consortium members instead of having everyone meet every month. And then we'll have intervening meetings on specific topics, whether they are particular measures of interest to subgroups, whether they're particular subjects like long COVID that people might be interested in, that will be available to everyone, but really address the interests of smaller members of the consortium. We will continue to work with all of you to assess the concordance between key data sources. We really want the research that you're all doing to be impactful, and we think that it can have a greater impact if we're all clear and transparent about how we're measuring really complex things like income and wearing masks. And if we are clear and transparent about those, we can explain to the research, the consumers of your research, what the differences are and what the implications are of those. We're also planning to put together proposed CDE measures that will go to the National Library of Medicine and to produce a white paper about the differences in measurement that really is coming out of the discussions that we've been having with all of you. And again, just want to emphasize, we are not trying to tell you how to measure things. We are actually really excited when we see novel scales, novel indices, what we're trying to do is to get you all to share them with one another so that people can learn from each other. So we saw in lots of cases that there's a lot of correlation across, I mean, not surprisingly, across mitigation interventions, and but those correlations were not exactly the same in those two measures. Does that make a big difference? What is the difference between what people are measuring? What can we learn from understanding those differences? Where we think some data sets are better, we definitely want to make sure we're all using the best data sets for the questions at hand. And our job is to help to provide clarity and transparency to that and to help you all do your work in a way that will have the greatest impact. Next slide. Oops. So in year one, where we were is first of all, we created the website, which was a big lift, and we think is a pretty cool website. If you have not looked at the consortium, the coordinating center website, please do. It features a publications page. And again, as all of you are starting to produce more research output, we would really like to use the coordinating center website to highlight your work. Please let us know when you have research. We also have announcements that are updated twice a week. We include announcements about things that we're doing, things that you're doing if you tell us. We also tell you about other research that we hear about, other funding opportunities that we hear about that we think are relevant for this community. We will have regular webinars on our site, and we will share those with you. We're also putting, again, new data sets as we hear about them, new studies that we think are relevant. And we also have a social media presence. I know, I think Megan mentioned this at the beginning. We regularly tweet from the @ICPSR Twitter handle. So if you want to follow that, you will see news about SBE CCC, about the consortium generally. We also tag all of our posts with the hashtag SBE CCC. If you would like, if you tweet about or post on social media about the research that you're doing, then we would urge you to also tag it just with SBE CCC, and then other folks will know about it, and other folks in the consortium will know about it too. You know, one thing I don't think we put in a slide, but also just a reminder that we are also putting announcements like this of activities and funding opportunities and resources into the Slack channel. So please do check the Slack channel regularly. Next slide. Again, social media. Here's, here's social. So, please again, here the social media handles that we're using. We have been at PAA and well, I was supposed to, but John Kubali actually did present to the Interdisciplinary Network on Rural Population Health and Aging. We will be, I'm supposed to do the where we were first before I get to this is why I'm not on TikTok, to stick with the theme of the meme. Please do come see us at conferences. We had a great time. I think you saw in some of the break slides were from PAA, so that was really fun. The webinar that Jim McNally did on common data elements, CDEs, was great. It is recorded. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, it is again linked to from the website, so please take a look. We also have regular news that is relevant to members of the consortium in the ICPSR news, and we would urge you to take a look at that. We certainly announce things about that you are all up to in the ICPSR news. And just so you know, ICPSR is a consortium of about 800 universities and think tanks and research institutions around the world, and each one of them has one and sometimes two representatives, ICPSR, and so they get those news and they share those news with, they're often data librarians or social scientists, so they share those with students and faculty who are coming to them. So it's just a great way to amplify what you're doing. Next page. Where we're going. We are going to continue keeping the website and social media content fresh. We can do that and highlight, amplify what you are doing if you send us announcements and publications. We love graphics because it turns out people look at things with graphics. We are going to be enhancing our website with more bibliography and research output. We'll also have researcher profiles. One of our partners at the coordinating center is CHART and the Center for Healthcare and Research Transformation, and they will be creating content for the site about you and about your research. So you will hear from them or you may hear from them over the course of the coming year. We're also going to be expanding our presence at conferences. We'll be at the American Public Health Association in November in Boston. So if you're there, please stop by our booth. If you have events or other conferences that you think it's important for us to be at and to be featuring the work of the consortium at, please do let us know. We'll also be featuring consortium members in ICPSR webinars and podcasts. Our podcast is called Data Brunch, and I urge you to subscribe to it if you're a podcast person. Now that the gyms are reopening, I think you're supposed to listen to podcasts when you go to the gym and work out, and probably all of that decline in happiness from going to the gym was that people couldn't watch their Data Brunch podcasts or listen to their Data Brunch podcast while they're at the gym. We'll be highlighting the consortium at the ICPSR's upcoming data fair, which is on September 23rd. And I think we'll have the link to the data fair there. It's a great opportunity to learn about data resources, and we will be talking about the work of the consortium and highlighting some of that specifically. So we're looking forward to the data fair, and we invite you to join it. I'm just trying to. Sure, I'm not missing it. Okay. All right, next slide. In the first year, we had one-on-one meetings with each of the consortiums to discover areas where the coordinating center can provide support. I think most of you met with Jim and Megan, or if you joined later, perhaps with John and Megan. We will continue to do those, especially for the new members who just joined or who have joined. And again, we had the Common Data Elements webinar. Again, it's up there on the website. I urge you to take a look, especially which I have to say, I think is probably the case for most of you. You might never have heard of a common data element before you were part of this consortium. And so understanding what common data elements are and why they're important in improving the quality and reproducibility and transparency of health research and why NIH has prioritized them. And what we are going to be doing with them in the consortium is will be really, you'll have a better understanding if you watch Jim's presentation. Yeah, next slide. Okay. You also saw, or I think most of you have met James Wagner and Brady West. James and Brady are both part of the survey methodology group here in the Survey Research Center at the University of Michigan. And they have been very involved in many in design, in designing. Did I do that? No. Okay. I can't do that because Megan's in charge. In designing many surveys, including some of them that we've been talking about today, like the Health and Retirement Study and the National Survey of Family Growth. And they are here to provide advice to you. They're actually, they do this for their own research, but they also make it as part of their role really is, and they're just wonderful at this. I can't tell you how much people appreciate talking to them, whether it's about designing a questionnaire or designing a sample or analyzing the data or record linkage or addressing things like non-response error or imputation, all those kinds of things. They're just really have great insights. You can set up a consultation with them by emailing SBE CCC -consult or reaching out to James or Brady or to any of us at the coordinating center to put you in touch with them. I think we introduced everybody in year 1 to James and Brady. We really hope that in year 2 that all of you take advantage of this resource. And one thing is, we actually say that they're survey research experts, but they also have a lot of experience with non-design data, with administrative data, and in thinking about how to make sure that we have appropriate inference from data which is not designed and which may not be necessarily representative by design. So I urge you to talk to them. Next slide. Oh, so yes, here are 2 plans. Webinar. James and Brady are going to do a webinar for you. They again can provide assistance with validating policy measurement data sources, or will be providing assistance with that, though I'm sure they could too. We are also, and Rita Hamad talked about this, the coordinating center is at ICPSR because we have a lot of data management expertise, and we're really here to help you, whether it's, as in Rita's case, she was talking about, she has an article coming out and they want to make the data from that article available, and ICPSR can help you with that. The COVID, ICPSR's Open ICPSR COVID-19 repository is a perfect place for those kinds of publication related data. We also can help you with curated data. So the NCHAT data that Claire was talking about is here at ICPSR in the data sharing for demographic research, the NICHD sponsored archive. We also have NIH sponsored archives and NIDA sponsored archives, and then we have our membership archives. So in each of those archives, we curate the data and make sure that it is really ready for third-party users so that other people can build on the amazing work that you're doing. Obviously, all of these will come with your DOI, the persistent identifier, so that people can find your research. And we do a lot of work to track usage of the data so that when there are publications using your data and what people are doing with it. We can also help you with data management planning, restricted data access. I think Claire also mentioned, we have a virtual data enclave, a physical enclave, so that if you have data that's confidential, we can help you with that, both in terms of technology and in terms of things like data use agreements. We can help provide guidance about what should be public and what should be restricted, and how you might want to protect data so that you can make more things public. And then, as I said, with data curation, creating data documentation, preserving the data, creating high quality standardized metadata to improve discoverability, and archiving the data for the long term. We really encourage all of you to share your data in accordance with the guidelines that are that NIH has. I think technically most of you are not covered by the new NIH data sharing policy that goes into effect in January. But the guidance that they have in those court sort of associated with those policies about consents, about data management plans, all those things are things that I think you would also find useful, and we're happy to help you make sense of all of that and make the enormous amount of work that you're doing in producing this data have a greater impact.
So Maggie,
yep.
We're at time plus a little bit. I wanted to make sure that you have some time for your Q&A. Okay. Would you like me to show the piece about the pilots and then?
No, this is when I talk really fast. I had a timer up, but then I covered it up with all the slides. I'll go slow. So as I mentioned, we also have pilots. These are our 3 great pilots that are going on right now. Year 2, we're going to announce the new pilot competition very soon. We'll have some larger pilots and smaller pilots. We're encouraging letters of intent. You will see those announcements as soon as they come out, which I think will be later today. It will be on the website. It will be in the Slack channel. Please take a look. Please share. We are really here to make your research be able to do more and to collaborate more. Next slide. Oh, thank you for being part of our first annual meeting. All of our presentations will be shared on ICPR's public YouTube channel, unless they're embargoed for some reason. We are hoping for an in-person meeting next time. And now to the fun part, I think, is that we have a Jamboard. And we are thinking a lot about what we are going to do next year. And we've given you some ideas about what we're going to do next year. We would love to have your ideas. And the Jamboard is there for you to put your little colored, your virtual Post-its up to share your ideas. And you can do that during the next 20 minutes, or you can do that at any point during the day today. And then we will gather all of your ideas and organize them and integrate them into our plans for next year. So thank you.